Can you let me know in the comments if you can hear me, please? Because I don't want to start a whole new show and not know if you can hear me. So please let me know. Cool. All right, let's start this again. The Yankees are terrible in extra innings, and I don't know why, but we're going to discuss it next on another live edition of Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. I just did how much of a show without sound, and now I'm starting over again. So to those who watched me talk without sound for 17 minutes, I apologize. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, we will preview the matchup between Will Warren and Luis Castillo, which begins in about 3 hours and 10 minutes. We will discuss DJ LeMahieu coming back, how that affects third base, and honestly, how that affects second base. But first, let's talk about last night's game, Wamp Wamp against the Mariners. I said that we were due for a Max Fried letdown, and if 1 run in 5 innings is a Max Fried letdown, I will take that every time. You know, I mean, it wasn't great because he only lasted 5 innings. They had to use the premium bullpen guys, but there was an off day on Thursday. And, you know, if guys need to be used again, so be it. But the issue with last night's game was not Fried only lasting 5 innings. It was the fact that the Yankees offense could not do anything until the 9th inning when you didn't want them to do anything in the 9th inning. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I know that the Yankees have been horrible in extra innings since the Manfred Man or the Ghost Runner or whatever you want to call it has been implemented in 2020. In a moment, I will tell you just how bad that record is. It is atrocious. Actually, okay, the Yankees have played 37 road extra inning games since 2020. Leave in the comments what you think that record in. Again, it's 37 games. It's a lot of extra inning games, but so it's extra inning games on the road since the Ghost Runner was implemented. 37 games. Leave your guess for the record, but don't leave your guess for the record. Oh, well, no, you can because you didn't hear me in the last stream. So that works. Okay. And don't cheat by looking it up either. So, you know, Volpe ties the game in the top of the 9th. And I think to myself, we don't really want this. You know, I don't root for the Yankees to lose, but I know how they are in extra innings. And I did not want that game to go into extra innings. And I also know that the Yankees have played 4 extra inning games in Seattle in the last 4 years. In the last 4 seasons, they've played extra inning games in Seattle. I don't know what it is about that place. Well, I know what it is. It's Seattle's pitchers are good. That's never been a problem for Seattle. They've had really good pitchers, whether it's George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, the names go on. They seem to do well against the Yankees. No, Junior Mafia, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it is bad. It's bad. 3-34. That's pretty funny. It feels like they're 3-34 in extra innings on the road. Awful. But this is the 4th straight year that the Yankees have played in extra inning games in Seattle, and it's 3 out of 4 losses for them. They actually won 2-1 on September 18th of last year. I believe they clinched a playoff spot after they won that game. They lost 1-0 on May 31st, 2023. They lost in 10 innings, and the September game was also 10 innings, and they lost 1-0 in 13 innings, and I sort of remember that game, August 9th, 2022, because August 2022 was not a good month for the Yankees. They also were walked off by Boston a few days later in that same crazy road trip. So, yeah, All one-run games, which, by the way, the Yankees are 4-9 in one-run games so far in 2025. It's May 14th, and they're 4-9 in one-run games. No, not that bad. Jared says 527. Junior Mafia says 7-30. Okay, I won't say it any. I won't waste any more time. 12-25. They have a 324 record in road extra inning games. I don't know extra inning games overall. That's the one stat I got because this game was on the road, but they don't even tend to do better in extra inning games at home. I know they've won some, but it just feels like this team is not built for extra innings. You would think with the extra runner, logically, call me crazy, logically, you would try to get the runner from second to third, waste an out, bunt, try to hit the ball where the fielders aren't, or try to hit the ball where the fielders have to throw to first and they can't get the guy running to third. And then a sac fly. I don't know. I know it seems simple on paper. It seems simple when you think about it, but the Yankees are just awful. And yeah, Jared, I agree with this. I really can't stand that none of these guys can bunt. And when they do attempt to bunt, they pop out. I think Boone is part of the problem because he's always like so complimentary with the players. Oh, they tried, they did this, they did that. No, if a guy pops up when he's attempting to bunt, you make him do push-ups. Like Major League. Like Willie Mays Hayes, whenever he popped up, he had to do push-ups. Like, make these guys do something, but they're always swinging for a home run. You don't always need a home run. The 6-run inning the other night against Seattle proves that you don't need a home run. What was it? Single, double, single, and then a home run? Hello? It's like the fundamentals go out of their brains when they get to extra innings. It's 5 years of this nonsense. It is torture watching this team on the road. I don't mean to yell. I'm so sorry. I was a lot more calm when I recorded this earlier when I thought I was recording it without sound. But it's just so frustrating watching this team consistently do this on the road. And I'm glad that other people feel the same way I do. When they get to extra innings, you want to turn the game off. I can't because I cover the team and I have to watch what happens. But I don't blame you guys for shutting the game off because you know how it's going to end. I always joke about that, right? Sometimes when I say that I know how a game's going to end, I've seen this movie before. 12-25 on the road in extra inning games since 2020. It's abysmal. It's putrid. It's every adjective you can think of for bad. It's terrible. And it's even worse that they were on the West Coast and we had to stay up until after 1 a.m. to watch that nonsense. They've had games like that pre the Manfred Man. There have been times where I was up late watching them playing on the road, and it wasn't even necessarily extra innings, and it wasn't even under Boone. But when you stay up for an extra inning, or not an extra, when you stay up for a West Coast game and they lose in a stupid way, it's hard to fall asleep after that. So I blame this on the players. I blame it on Boone. Because I know we've talked about it many times. These are grown men. They've been playing baseball since they can walk, essentially, and they should know what to do when you have a runner on second and no outs. But even in non-extra inning situations, when there's a runner on base and on second base with no outs, you sometimes see how the Yankees fail because everyone who goes to the plate is trying to kill the ball. Why do you need to kill the ball? Just get a hit. I don't understand it. Also, congrats to Aaron Boone, his second ejection of the season. I had forgotten about the one in Tampa when Judge hit that home run that wasn't a home run because the foul pole didn't go high enough. So, yeah, congrats to Aaron Boone on your ejection, number 2 of the 2025 season. Congrats to the Yankees for making their extra inning road record even worse. 324. 324 winning percentage. That is absolutely awful. All right, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in our description. You get text from us. You can text me questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. I will send you the lineups during the season, roster moves, breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. I also love having conversations with the insiders. It's a lot of fun. There's a 14-day free trial. All right, coming up next, DJ LeMahieu is back. How does this affect third base? Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with an inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. So we have a new way for you to do Fan Mail Friday. If you go to our page on YouTube, go to the post tab, and you can scroll down and see where I put the deadline. This week, it's 5 p.m. on Thursday. Get those questions in. I appreciate the fact that someone on Monday left a message asking us where the show was. That was my fault. YouTube has it. When you schedule a show on YouTube, they will automatically put the following date in, and I forgot to manually change that. And I realized at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday that the show never went up when it was supposed to go up at 6 a.m. These things happen. Anyway, the lineup just came out literally while that was happening. So here you go. I got it from Instagram. As you can see, Grisham's leading off. Rice is playing first. Judge at DH. Bellinger, Volpe, Dominguez, LeMahieu at second base. This helps my talk for this coming segment because I brought this up when you couldn't hear me the first time. JC Escar is catching. Your Jorbit Bibas is playing third, and Will Warren is pitching. Okay, so let's talk about this. The automatic assumption about DJ is that he was going to come back and play third. But my thought is he can play second, and he was playing second in Somerset. He was mainly playing second base in Somerset. Now, until the Oswaldo Cabrera injury, that seemed like the way that the Yankees were going. They could just keep doing Oswald and Oswaldo at third base, taking turns at third base. They could put DJ at second, maybe put Bibas back down at AAA because he has options. Peraza does not. So today's lineup, DJ's playing second. I would prefer that. I would actually prefer that. I think that Peraza is great defensively, and I think that he can actually contribute in more ways defensively because he can play third, he can play second, he can play shortstop if Volpe needs a day off. I think that he's more versatile that way. Now, the problem is his bat. But the problem is he's not getting into enough games to get consistent at bats, to get consistent. It's not easy to play once or twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week when other guys are playing all the time. So this is a very odd problem that the Yankees have. Instead of having too few players and having to scramble to find someone to play these positions, they have too many players. And with what they've done to Peraza for the last few years, that has screwed things up for them because he has no more options. So if you let Peraza go, he's going to go bye-bye to another team. And it feels like the Yankees don't quite want to let him go. They want to try and maybe keep him around as a trade piece. So this is an interesting situation. Again, things became a lot different when Oswaldo Cabrera fractured his ankle. And there was a part of me thinking, okay, well, that makes Boone's decision regarding second or third base a tad easier because now you don't have as much of a blockade, I guess, for DJ. Because DJ LeMahieu is getting paid by the Yankees to play. He has the big contract. He has to play. And with the Yankees, they will play him into the ground. So if DJ LeMahieu, it's May 14th, if he starts playing May 14th and he's still playing into August and has not gotten injured, but he's only batting 125, they're not going to take him out. With their track record of running these guys into the ground and taking too long to get people out of the lineup before they realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't have this guy in. Now, for right now, the thing that's helping the Yankees is you don't need every single guy in the lineup to hit. It would be nice, right? It would be great to have 1 through 9 bashing the ball, but that's not usually how baseball works. But there are other guys in the lineup that need to pick things up if the Yankees are going to play DJ LeMahieu every day. I'm looking at you, Cody Bellinger. He's picked things up a little bit, but he was in a couple of big spots yesterday and did nothing. Nothing. I can make an excuse for Judge. Judge has been carrying this team on his back. It doesn't bother me as much when he fails in late situations. It's annoying, but Cody Bellinger has to show us something, and he's been picking it up lately, but he really needs to start picking it up even more. You're making money, and you need to start picking it up. Paul Goldschmidt has been a revelation so far this season. And that's the other thing about DJ. DJ can back him up at first, although you have Ben Rice to do that. But DJ can play first, second, and third. He could even play shortstop if you wanted him to, but I don't think they would do that because you already have Peraza there to back up Volpe if you need to. So this is an interesting situation for the Yankees. And it's actually the opposite of 2019, that year when nearly everyone got injured. At least 30 guys went on the IL, or there were 30 IL trips. That's what it was, right? And it seemed like every guy that they plugged in did really well. That team won 103 games. Somehow, I know how, juiced balls. DJ LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres. That's how they won. Where this situation, plus the Rice-Stanton conundrum, when Stanton comes back, I don't envy Aaron Boone. I don't want to bring this up, but I think the DJ situation might be like the Josh Donaldson situation, where the Yankees just keep playing him no matter how bad he is. Or, Anthony Rizzo, because he was terrible the last year and a half he was here. That also probably had something to do with his head injury. I'm not gonna slam Anthony Rizzo for not being able to play because he got his bell rung and probably shouldn't have been playing for 2 months when he was, and then that kind of screwed him up. But the Yankees just don't know. I don't know when this started happening. They don't know when to say, all right, maybe we're done with this guy. Maybe we need to do a different thing. Did it start with Boone? I'm trying to remember if this happened with Girardi, because it feels like it didn't happen with Girardi. I know that there were plenty of players when Torre was manager, my favorite being Felix Heredia. Every time that man came into a game, I thought to myself, does he have incriminating pictures on Joe Torre? Because it certainly feels that way. Why are you bringing him in? I don't know. I hope that DJ can play serviceable, I can't even say the word, serviceable. There we go. Baseball. I want serviceable baseball from DJ LeMahieu. You don't have to kill the ball, but we need you to hit the ball every once in a while. You can't be going up there and striking out, because if that first at bat was any clue as to how DJ LeMahieu is going to do, the Yankees are in trouble. Because he did hit .444 with a 500 on base percentage in Somerset, but that's Somerset. That's Double-A. That's not Major League pitching by any stretch of the imagination. That's why when Clark Schmidt was doing well in Double-A, there was that caveat. Well, it's Double-A, so got to wait to see how he does when he gets up here. So we'll see. All right. Coming up next, we will quickly preview the Warren-Luis Castillo matchup in the rubber game in Seattle. And I have a story to tell about 29 years ago tonight. All right, so the game, I gave you the lineup already, but if you're just joining us, here's the lineup for today's game. Sorry, the graphic doesn't have the fancy stuff in the background. I couldn't really do that while I was recording this live. But as you can see, JC Escara is in there. DJ LeMahieu is in there at second base. Ben Rice is there at first base. Yankees have an off day, obviously, travel day, because they'll be on their way home for the big bad Subway series, which we will do the preview, predictions, all that good stuff on tomorrow's show. So look out for that. So Wednesday afternoon's matchup, 4:10 on the East Coast, a 1:10 start out in Seattle. It's on, yes, Will Warren, who's 2-2 with a 4.75 ERA, up against Luis Castillo, who's 3-3 with a 3.95 ERA. Seattle has good pitching. Even if the guys' ERAs are not in the twos, which, you know, some people think if a guy's ERA is in the twos, he's excellent. And sometimes it just means he's pitched well for a couple of games and then he goes back to being normal. Luis Castillo is 3-3. He's Luis Castillo. You know, Seattle's problem has never been the pitching. It was always the offense. And I mean, they kind of showed it last night because they only won the game 2-1. So we'll see. Will Warren had a great start against Oakland, but that was Oakland. Although I shouldn't say that because Oakland beat the Dodgers on Tuesday night, which I don't think anyone expected that to happen. Also, Oakland is a lot. Oakland. Oh my God, I keep calling them Oakland. I'm so sorry. Am I going to get struck down by lightning because I called them Oakland? The Athletics of West Sacramento. Pardon me. Old habits die hard. Anyway, so sorry. The Sacramento Athletics, I'm going to call them that even though they don't want to be called that, went into Dodger Stadium and won because they're not great at Sutter Health Park, which the Yankees showed why. You know, Saturday's game, the Yankees should have won Saturday's game. You know, the bullpen and Carlos Rodon messed that up. But, you know, when you score that many runs, you should win a game. Yeah, so we'll see how the Yankees do in this rubber game. I'm hoping Will Warren continues what he did on, was that Friday night? He has the ability to strike guys out, and he showed that against the Athletics. I just need him to continue that because, as I say many times when we talk about Will Warren and other pitchers, you see flashes of what they could be when they're striking guys out and looking confident on the mound, and then you see the other parts of their game when they're 0-2 and they can't get that knockout pitch, right? They go 0-2 to 3-2. They go 0-2 to a double. It's just, so I hope Will Warren can kind of build on that last start and perform well in Seattle. We shall see. So the story I wanted to tell, okay. May 14th, 1996. When I say that, I think you know what I'm going to talk about, but that was Dwight Gooden's no-hitter. 29 years ago tonight. That is crazy to me. I can't believe it was that long ago. I had just gotten back from school. I had a rough finals week. I was exhausted. And my dad called me up during that day. It was a Tuesday, if I recall correctly. He called me up during the day and said, would you want to go to the Yankee game tonight? Because it would be my first game of the season because I was up at school. And I said, can I think about it? He said, yep, I'll come home. If you don't want to go, it's not a big deal. And when he came home, I thought to myself, let's go. I haven't been to a game yet. I want to go. My mother didn't go because she had a headache. So it was me, my dad, and my brother. And we had an extra ticket. And my dad gave it to Freddie Says. I don't know why Freddie Says didn't have a ticket that night. But he didn't for some reason. Or he needed a ticket to get it. Something happened. So my dad gave him the ticket. He didn't sit with us. But he let me bang the pan, so I did that, and we were sitting in the main level, so the very back of the first level of Old Yankee Stadium, behind the Seattle dugout, all the way to the back, like the wall was literally behind my back. That's where we were sitting. So back then, Seattle was scary. If you recall, if you're old enough to remember, and I talked about this with David Cohn on the show 4 years ago. Can't believe it's been 4 years since I've had Cohn on the show. I asked him what it was like as a pitcher in the 90s to face lineups like the then Indians. Think about that lineup with Tomey, right? Hafner, all those people. The Texas Rangers, that was a scary lineup in the 90s. And then Seattle with Buhner and Edgar Martinez and Ken Griffey Jr. Like just those three alone made that lineup scary. And with Dwight Gooden, who was on the tail end of his career, who, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. So you're thinking of him coming into that game and just hoping that Seattle doesn't blow them out. And I think it was around the 6th inning, my dad taps me on the shoulder and he said, "Look at the scoreboard. Do you notice something?" It took me a second to realize that at that point, Dwight Gooden hadn't given up a hit. And he said, "Don't say anything." I said, "Okay." And then anytime anyone in our section mentioned it, we all started crossing ourselves to stop the jinx from happening. Like we were telling people to shush, like to not say anything. Now he walked, how many walks did he have in that game? I don't have the stats up right now, but he walked a bunch of people in that game. And it felt like every time either Buhner, Griffey, or Edgar Martinez came up, you just thought, okay, it's going to end here. It's going to end here. It's going to end, and it never did. And the 9th inning happens. That last pop-up goes up. And as I said, I was in the last row of the main section of the old stadium. So the loge was hanging over us, and I couldn't see where that ball went. And it felt like that pop-up was in the air for 10 minutes. And then it came down. Jeter caught that ball, right? It felt like a movie. It felt like a movie. I had never been to a no-hitter. It's the only no-hitter I've been to. And it was amazing. They carried him off the field, and it just didn't seem real to me. And my dad turns to me and says, are you glad you came tonight? And I said, yes, I'm very glad, because I would have been so angry. Because my brother got to go, he was at that game. He was at game 6 against the Braves in 96. So he saw them win that World Series. And he was at David Cohn's perfect game, which I was supposed to be at, but I hurt my leg and I couldn't go. And I told David Cohn about that. And he said, David Cohn actually said to me, "Oh, you're probably better off because it was really hot that day." I said, "I'd rather be hot and sweaty watching a perfect game than not be at the perfect game." So yeah, Dwight Gooden's no-hitter 29 years ago tonight. That is amazing to me. I can't believe it's been that long. That's crazy. I think they still show it on Yankee Classics, right? I think Yankee Classics has been showing the 20 to 9 game against the Brewers lately, because I guess that's a classic, right? So anyway, again, 4:10 p.m. on Yes, Will Warren, 2-2, 4.75 ERA against Luis Castillo, 3-3 with a 3.95 ERA. We'll see how that goes. I want to thank you all for joining me on this second live edition of Locked On Yankees today. I'm so sorry for the first stream. I have no idea what happened. Everything was set the correct way, and I didn't even realize what was going on. And I saw that there were 17 comments, and I thought, wow, people are really engaging with the show. And then I saw all the no sound comments, and I wanted to yeet myself out the window. So thank you for that. And thank you for sticking around. And thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And again, we will be previewing the Subway Series on Thursday's show. And we'll probably talk about it on Friday's show as well, because it's a big deal with Juan Soto and all that stuff. It's all amplified. So it should be interesting and scary for all of us. So that'll do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow.